Push the button. Hey there. I think we're live. I think we're live. That does nothing. I'm looking into a camera. It's just all for effect. Probably not a good one. Welcome, Bombini, to Fantastic Cruising's Live. And obviously, we are not alone. We have Stacy and Gina joining us. We are like a week and a half, 2 weeks removed from your cruise? A week removed.
2 at least.
2 weeks.
Yeah, at least 2 weeks.
Time flies.
Also, I want to point out that this is actually Gina and Stacy.
What did I say?
You said Stacy and Gina.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you read, it says Gina and Stacy.
Okay, well, I'm like, what did I say?
Actually, ours says Fantastic Cruising.
Yeah, there you go. See?
I wonder why.
Neener.
Why does it not have our names on it?
I have no idea.
Can we change it?
Are you going to do that right now?
No. Keep talking. You don't need to do what I'm doing.
One thing I do want to do is see if my mom's on here, because we were trying to walk her through logging in to watch the live stream, and I think we got it sussed out, and she probably may have not even started yet, because technically, right now is when she would be going on. But we'll see. But we can say hello to everyone as soon as the screen isn't faded out, because Kimber's typing.
Okay.
There we go. All right, let's say hello to everybody. Who we got? Some guy named Stacy. I don't know who that is. Keep going. No, I'm just kidding. We said hi to Stacy because he's right here. And we got the Roddies. We got Ed and Anita, the dynamic duo right there. Hello to both of you. We got Les. Les, good to see you here, buddy. And we got JT. Does anybody know JT? Have you guys ever heard of? Anyway, we all
crazy. Some crazy guy harasses me all the time.
Yeah. He's constantly. Actually, he's got a podcast that maybe you've heard of, and you guys probably have been on it. So,
he twisted our arm.
Yeah, I've been waiting a little bit because I wanted him to get, and by him I mean them, JT and Jen, to get that podcast out, the C Days podcast, where they interviewed the two of you about what we're going to talk to you about. And that was a good podcast. If you haven't listened to it already, go check it out. C Days on all your favorite podcast outlets. Hey there, Bombini, Kevin Counts. Are you having Mexican food tonight? So I haven't seen my mom on there yet, but you want
to send her a message?
I'm going to send her a message just to make sure, because she was having some technical difficulties. So I'm just going to send her a message because I know she really wanted to see this tonight. Mom,
this is fun. Let's watch math type.
On ? Okay. All right. Let's see what happens there. And then we're going to talk to you guys about your cruise. It was just to get some of the basics out of the way. You were on a Spirit class ship, the Carnival Legend.
Correct.
And you went to the Panama Canal and then came back, and that took you, was it 10 nights?
It was an 8 night.
8 nights.
8 nights. Okay, 8-night cruise. And you had 3 port stops, but you really only utilized 2 of them. You went to Grand Cayman last, right?
Right.
Yes.
But you guys didn't get off at Grand Cayman, but you did the other 2, which I won't reveal yet, because we're going to talk about that shortly as I sip on my spicy margarita.
I don't like my wine.
No?
No.
I'm going to whine about it?
Yeah.
Why don't you get something else?
I don't have anything else.
Oh.
I can't break into Viviana's wine. She'll be upset.
Yeah.
I'll take it, Kimbra.
There you go.
You want my wine?
Yeah, just hand it over.
No word from my mom, so I don't know. Don't know if she's made it or not. She hasn't responded to my text. We'll give her another minute. It's like when I'm teaching the class and waiting for people to show up. We'll give them one more minute, and then we'll get started, just in case. And then
Didn't
as soon
you
as
get
I
the
get
new
started,
internet?
we haven't gotten the new internet, but knock on.
Why are you shaking things, man?
Knock on.
Knock
So
on
they,
that one.
I wanted them to get the full effect of it.
You should have done this. Knock on
Yeah. That's,
Did your mom get new internet?
Oh, she did get new internet. Yes, she did. I think that got installed.
She got internet or TV? I think she got new TV.
I think it's all connected though.
I don't know what she got.
I'm not sure either. But there has been some changes. We are getting new internet, part of our lease.
New same internet.
Well, yeah, but
New
it's
same better internet.
better. But the reason I won't do it again, knocking on the wood. Oh, there's my mom. All right.
Oh, she lost power.
Oh, well, that'll do it. Is because we haven't had any issues since we moved things and unplugged things and plugged them back in again. So hopefully my saying that didn't just ruin everything. But we shall see. We shall see. It's going to be the Gina and Stacy show. But no, we've done this a few times now, and we haven't had any issues.
Both internet and TV, she said.
Wow. Yeah, I know. She said they were getting storms in Missouri around.
No, that's what she got new.
Oh, okay. Okay, but I know they were getting storms.
Yeah,
she said around 6.
Anita said we have some severe storms.
Gotcha. All right. Okay. Well,
We have a
now
big
that
storm
the
coming,
important
too.
people are all here, we can go ahead and get started. So let's again. We'll do this a little more casually. If you want to get all the nitty-gritty details, and there's some interesting details, definitely don't miss T-Day's podcast with them because it's a really good episode. And so if we forget to dot an I or cross a T, it's probably in there. But you disembarked out of basically where we work, downtown Tampa. And I know I listened to the podcast, so I know that you guys had a little bit of a mixed experience with that, and that it was quick and efficient, but there was some like ruler slapping, wrist slapping like people there at the port.
They were just rude, really, really rude.
Was it just a couple of them that were rude, or was the whole vibe rude?
Yeah, just a couple. Like the lady that actually like checked our tickets and stuff, she was like probably the nicest person I've ever met in my life.
Oh, good.
But the one that really wanted our ticket in our passport with our passport open to our picture, she literally snatched it out of my hand because I was struggling to get it because my hands were full. And she was very rude, telling me to get it in there, and then when I couldn't get it, was ripping it out of my hands. It was pretty rude.
Did
you? And there was a couple other rude port workers too. But
did you experience that? Like, I know you like Ubered in or something, but like when the Uber was pulling in with the cops or anything that were out there kind of leading traffic, did you experience that with them at all?
No, the gentleman that was telling the Uber driver where to go was having a little bit difficult time because our Uber driver didn't speak English.
And I think he was a little frustrated.
I think he got a little frustrated, but I don't think he was rude or anything.
I was just curious. I encounter them occasionally when we're bringing in field trips, and sometimes I don't have the best experience with them.
Depending on which one it is. Yeah,
I was just curious if it
much less pleasant than others.
Started on the road and worked its way up.
I think you might be onto something because he got really frustrated really quick with her. And I remember sitting in the back thinking, "Wow, gosh, give her a little grace." But
yeah, I was sorry to hear you guys had that bit of rudeness there. I will say I've sailed out of Tampa quite a few times. I have experienced them being extraordinarily picky about holding the handrails. I have experienced that. And I maybe have had one or two crabby people, but I've also had some pleasant people, but hopefully that was an anomaly.
The handrail thing didn't bother me embarking because we got there so early. There weren't that many people there embarking, and we took the elevator. It was no wait or anything. Just took the elevator up. No problem. Yeah. And the only thing I had was we had our carry-on bag, and I had a 12-pack in my hand, but they wouldn't let me go on the escalator because of that. But the part that frustrated me was when we got back. You know, you do self debark, and you have all your bags with you, and a lot of people were doing that at that time, and they only have one elevator,
right?
So like everybody was in line for the elevator, and I'm like, that's dumb. Nobody is hardly even going down the escalators, and so that was.
And I haven't experienced that. I wonder if it was just somebody who was just really taking the rules very literally, or if they had like an issue where somebody got hurt and there was like a lawsuit or something.
That's what I was thinking. But it was like both sets of escalators. They were very, and so anyway.
Yeah, it was a fiasco.
But it didn't
Luckily, on the
ruin
way
your-
down on the last trip, because he had to keep going up the stairs to get our bags to come down with them. And so I stayed down with the other bags. And on the last trip down with the big ones, another lady was coming down and didn't have a bag at all. So she took one of ours for him.
Well, that was
yeah.
kind. That was
Yeah.
kind. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so I got my
so-
exercise in when we debark.
Yeah.
And our experience doesn't mean we would never sail out of there again. It was just
no. Yeah.
different
Yeah, I didn't get that vibe from you guys. Yeah, I like I said, it's a small port, like you guys said, so it's usually pretty quick. Sometimes with Carnival, there's a guy there that's really funny, and he does a lot like on the microphone once you're up in the area where you're sitting down. That makes it a little entertaining, but I don't think he's always there. But yeah, it's never fun. Like there's enough stress on embarkation day that you don't need grumpy people. Although to be fair, I feel like if I was one of those people watching everybody get on a cruise without me, I might get a little grumpy myself. There should be a term for that. Like, hangry is hungry and angry. Should be like crangry. I don't know what it would be, but you got on the ship, and it's your first time on a Spirit class ship.
Yes.
And a lot of people that are big cruisers like Paradij. Well, we do too. We're not big cruisers, but I mean we're big cruisers. But we're, like a lot of us like Spirit class ships, and you guys had a pretty positive experience on that design.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, for sure.
She wasn't crazy. It was the decor was kind of dark.
Yeah.
In a lot of places, and
like mahogany, and just
really dark woods and dark decor and stuff. So it did make it a little dark in some places, but to me the ship looked really nice, and I love the design. The way everything's on 2 and 3, and you can walk front to back without having to go up and over the galley, and that kind of thing.
I think that's what most of us really like about that style of ship is the accessibility, the location of things, the size. It's it's that Goldilocks ship, not too big, not too small. It's just a good, they got it right for a lot of people on that class of ship. But I sailed the Legend, was the first one Spirit class I was on, and it's been a long time. So I just remember that on the walls, like going to the staterooms, they had like King Arthur and stuff like that, like just different legends of like literature and whatnot on there, which I thought was kind of fun for me. But hey there, Cruise Nuts, how you guys doing?
So they have a lot of blown glass decorations and artwork, especially in the stairwells and stuff. All that was pretty cool.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm going to say that when I sailed that ship, they probably didn't have a Guy's Burger or Blue Iguana yet, because it was before. Like, it was one of my first cruises, really. So it would have been before the 2.0 upgrades and that sort of thing. But so you went straight down, and your first stop was Costa Rica, right?
Yes.
How long did it take you to get to Costa Rica?
Well, we had 2 sea days before we got there.
Okay.
So.
A bit.
Yep.
A bit. And then you got there pretty early in the morning, or?
That port was we got there at
short port.
It was right before noon. Is that what it was? Like 11?
I think we got off at like 11:15.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the port that I was the most curious about, because Costa Rica has always been like a destination I wanted to experience. If you're interested in wildlife, especially the type of wildlife that I particularly like, which is the herp fauna, reptiles, amphibians, also birds, things like that. Like Costa Rica is like sort of your mecca of sorts. Like that's what you hear about. It's one of the nicer, I think, Central American countries. From what I've heard, I haven't been there. So I was really curious to see what your guys' experience was. And we do have some pictures that we'll share, but tell us a little bit about your Costa Rican experience.
Well, we did a excursion that took us. Let's see. What did we do first?
The chocolate.
Yeah, that's right. We went to the little chocolate factory. Or it wasn't really a factory, but took us out in the middle of nowhere. I don't even know what the place is. It was like a little pavilion kind of situation out in the, I don't know what you call it. I would say woods, but it wasn't really woods. It was just kind of out there, just a little pavilion kind of thing. And we sat there and watched a presentation about chocolate making, the way they get the cacao bean off the trees and process it and through all the different steps and everything.
But they let you taste each step. So you got to taste the cacao bean right out of the fruit. And then they would let it sit for 2 days in this box and like hot box or something and dry out. So then you got to taste it at that step. And it started out real slimy and bitter. And then each stage got more and more like a little bit sweeter and sweeter. And the whole time the monkeys that were out above were just throwing apples down like they didn't want us around. But you had a roof over your head.
We were under a covered pavilion thing, but there was a big tree right at the end of it that was some type of apple tree, and you could hear the monkeys kind of screeching and moving around and throwing fruit down and everything.
Yeah.
Like a comedian that's just failing on stage. They're just throwing fruit at you. Did they say any explanation as to why? Were they like going to come in and eat the cacao when they were done or something, or they just didn't want you there?
We did ask why, and it was, and I can't remember exactly what the response was, but it was just they get mad and they throw fruit. Basically, is what he said. I don't remember verbatim what the answer was, but.
So you said it was slimy at first. I've done a little bit of the cacao stuff, and I've definitely experienced bitter, but that's interesting that it starts off slimy. It's weird something that's so kind of acrid becomes so delicious.
And I was very hesitant to put that first one in my mouth, and I looked at it and I looked at it, and he did it, and I was like, I guess if I'm gonna go through this whole experience, I don't want to miss the first step. So I went ahead and did it, but I didn't get it all. I spit it out pretty quickly. But
I used to do an outreach program for kindergarten age kids, and it was about senses. And when we went over taste, we give them a little piece of wax paper. We talk about like sour and salty and sweet and bitter. So we put a little salt on their wax paper, and they'd lick it. Oh, that's salty. Oh, okay. Then we put a little bit of lemonade powder on there, and oh, that's sour. Great. The next one's chocolate. Oh, yay, chocolate. We put some chocolate, not sweetened chocolate, just chocolate, right? So then this is like the pleasure of somebody that is working with small children like this. And the kids are all like, oh, and then they just get bitter. And they're like, oh, that's bitter. You just experienced bitter. Now add some, we'd say just taste a little bit of it. And then we give them sugar. We'd add some sugar on there, and then they taste it again. And then it was all better, but it was a fun little gag to play, but also, educational at the same time. So you watched them make chocolate, you learned about the process of chocolate, and then they took you on a river cruise?
Yeah, where this little pavilion was located was right beside a little river canal kind of thing that goes through the rainforest area. And we got on a boat and kind of drove up and down the river looking for wildlife and different things.
And I think I'm going to bring in some of the pictures here because we've got some photos here.
Party pants.
The captain has finally shed, except for his head. Well, I kind of helped him a little bit, but he's looking red except for his head. He's like an anti-ginger. But let me see where.
I miss Marty so much.
See if I can just bring this here. There we go. And so I think that is I got to click on the picture, not what I think is the picture. Let's try that again. And then I got to move it so I can see what I'm doing. All right. So this is not showing up.
Do you need help, Matt?
No, I think I got it sussed out.
That first one is inside of a cacao.
That's what I thought, but
I kind of had it set. So.
Yeah, but when I opened it, it didn't open the right thing there. I think this is what I need to do here. There we go. And then maybe I can even do this like a somebody that actually knows what they're doing. But So that's the cacao there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and that's the cacao beans inside there. You can see how they're all slimy and yucky.
When I think of beans, I don't think of something that large. So that's already kind of interesting. And you're eating the inner bean. I wonder if bean is really like, would it, I mean, I wonder what coffee beans look like before they get, picked off the plant. Like,
we saw them.
Like, are the beans like the fruit of that, or the seeds of the fruit or something? Or are they, I don't know.
I think so. I mean, when we did the thing in DR, that's kind of what it was.
Yeah. That'd explain why they're slimy.
Yeah.
So interesting. So what part did they use? Just that inside part?
Yeah, the little pieces that look like, I don't know, how would you describe that? Little pieces of orange with cream all over it. That's kind of what it pictures in my head.
It's deceptive.
Yeah.
And then it's just bitter and slimy.
Yeah, it's not good at all.
No.
She asked me, she's like, how did anybody ever come up with the idea of turning this into chocolate? I mean, I don't get it.
You got to wonder that about a lot of things. Like who came up with like mayonnaise? Like who, like there's some things out there that's like, okay, I get it. Like it's great, but to get to there, you had to take a lot of steps that would have seemed intuitively wrong to end up here.
Yeah. Hey there, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
And congratulations.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Married Man Paul. Congratulations, my friend. So this is the Carnival Legend.
Yep.
And that's a nice shot you got there. What port is this in?
I'm not mistaken. That is in Costa Rica.
Okay.
They're in order. The first few are
Costa Rica. Okay. Yeah.
Now, Gina's aren't labeled, so I don't know where all of those are. So they're sprinkled in.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're good. I just, because Stacy sent them by email, they were specifically labeled.
Yeah, we'll figure them out. All right. So, and then that looks like a micro sloth, but I know it's really just in the distance. But
it was funny because right when we got that picture was taken, I mean, right when we got on the boat, we're still docked up at the dock and just looked up there right in the tree beside it, and that sloth was there.
That's awesome. So that's a three-toed sloth.
Yep.
I'm guessing. I'm assuming it looks like a three-toed sloth.
Yep.
I guess I can't close out of this. I was gonna try and there we go. Is there
trying to zoom in or something?
Yeah, but I can't figure out. I can't read anything.
Yeah, I don't know from this. There's probably a keyboard shortcut, but I don't know what it is. Okay. Most of them it won't be an issue anyway. But this one, that's really cool. Like, so this is a 100% wild sloth, right? Like this is just a sloth living its best sloth life. And was this over the river?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty safe place to be. There's not a lot of things big enough to eat a sloth that are going to be able to get to it there.
It was very high up. Yeah,
I mean, most things are either going to be too heavy or they're too small to eat a sloth. So for the most part, they would be pretty safe. Of course, there's always a way. But I think some of the big eagles eat sloths, which is terrifying. I know what this is.
I do too.
We got these in Florida quite a bit. Do you guys know what this bird is?
Like an egret?
It's close. I mean, it's close. It's in the same group. This is a little blue heron.
Oh, so,
yeah. So these guys are really cool, and they a lot. What's interesting is a lot of the birds that you see in Central and South America are in Florida. Not all of them. There are some that are only in one or the other or parts, but this is one of my favorite birds that we have locally too. I just think they're really beautiful birds. And is this what the river kind of looked like? Kind of like mud banks with a lot of trees around it. Was there a lot of foliage like right next to the river bank, or was it just kind of mud?
No, there was most of it was a lot of foliage right around the river and everything.
Okay, this was just an exception to that. And the water looks like it's pretty muddy water there, which is pretty typical. If you have like a rainforest, you're usually not going to get crystal clear water in that sort of thing. Were there houses and structures along the river? Was it pretty wild?
Was it? Oh yeah, we did see a couple.
Going down one way, there were some houses and things along through there. Matter of fact,
not the first direction we went.
Yeah, the last direction we went, there were. Matter of fact, I remember at one point we were coming by and we'd already passed a couple, and there was a guy outside who was waving to us and everything, and then we went by one of them, and there was an outdoor sink, and before we got down there to it, the lady was there and she was brushing her teeth, and and then she got finished real quick and then took off, before we came by. So
when you saw houses along this river, did you ever see any sort of like fencing in the water or like mesh in the water at all?
No,
not that I noticed.
Okay, just because when I was in Belize, we did a river tour, and there were spots in the river. There were a lot of houses along the river, and there were spots where there'd be like a fence in the water, and the guide told us it was because people did their laundry in there, and there's crocodiles in there. So I know there's big crocodiles, and I know we were going to come up on some here in Costa Rica. So I just wondered if they had the same situation. Maybe they're not doing their laundry there, or maybe crocs just aren't in this part of the river. Now this is not a crocodile, but it is a crocodilian. And do you know what species this is? Did they tell you what it is?
Maybe, but he's really cute.
It's
all I remember is just saying he's a caiman.
Caiman. Yeah. So this is a spectacled caiman, common caiman. Sometimes they call them crocodile caimans because their scientific name is Caiman crocodilus. But what gives it away as a caiman is they're related to alligators. So they don't have that notch right there where their tooth on the bottom would stick up. But they are a little more pointy than our alligator is. And then the spectacled caiman has a little ridge going from eye to eye, like it's wearing spectacles. And so it gets the name spectacled caiman. But there's, and I don't know I guess you guys could see some of that. Maybe as I was pointing it out, I switched to the wrong screen. But yeah, that's cool. And I had to look up to see for sure which caiman species was in Costa Rica because I knew spectacles were there, but there's like a handful of other species and they all look, well, most of them, not all of them, look pretty similar. So I was like, I want to make sure I don't say the wrong thing, but pretty much spectacled caimans is what you get in Costa Rica, which is what you got there, which is really neat. And then here we've got another bird that
I know that one
that we see in Florida, but it's one of my favorite birds to see as well. Do you guys know what this one is? You didn't know it was going to be a test, did you?
No.
That's okay. It's okay. Kimber, you know what this one is?
It's a yellow-crowned night heron.
It is a yellow-crowned night heron. Out during the day, didn't read the book, didn't get the memo, but he's kind of hiding though. And these guys, they got a really fun call, and they do have the ability to stick that neck up, like pretty high up, but they don't usually do it. They usually just sit around with their neck kind of tucked in. But that's cool to see yellow-crowned night heron there. They're a pretty unique bird. We have black crown and yellow crowns in Florida, and they probably have both species in Costa Rica, but obviously they definitely have the yellow crowns. And now this one is a crocodile. Did they call this one a crocodile?
I think they called all of them caiman.
Oh no!
Yeah,
because I know when you were on the Sea Days podcast, you mentioned that you saw caimans, but this is not a caiman. This is an American crocodile, and 100%. And I know that because one, it's a little too big to be a caiman, but also these little bony plates on the back of the American crocodile, they're called osteoderms. On most crocodiles and caimans, they're kind of orderly, but the American crocodile looks like somebody just kind of randomly threw them on their back. And so they're a bit different, but that's a cool find. I like seeing American crocodiles. We technically have those in Florida, but barely. So I've seen them in Florida, but just a little bit. I've heard Costa Rica's got some big American crocodiles there. So that's cool that you got to see two species of crocodilians on this. I'm already like, all right, I'm ready to go to Costa Rica. Technically, we have spectacled caimans in Florida, but they're invasive. They're not. They're mostly in like the Miami area and the canals and stuff. And then, okay, so.
Yep, that's the side view of the same one.
Okay, okay. Well, I was gonna give you another test. I was gonna say, which one is this? But so so yeah, so that isn't as big as I thought. Then, what was that animal, about 6-7 feet long? How big was that?
I would probably guess it was probably 4 or 5, maybe.
Okay, so smaller than I'm even thinking. So that could be a caiman as far as size goes, but it's not. It's definitely a crocodile right there. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. So see, look at that. You saw crocodiles and caimans. Those are the only two crocodilians you could likely see. Now that is a sloth right there. Tell me about this one.
Yeah, this one, the guide was very good at finding wildlife, and then the boat captain would turn around or position the boat and go back and look. And we were pretty much parked, right next to this bush. He pulled us up right there at it.
And then he would turn the boat so everybody would have a chance, hopefully, if the animal was still there, to get photographs of it.
That's cool.
So it was just hanging there, chilling out.
That's awesome. So in the picture, it looks like you're like within 10 feet of this thing. How close were you in reality?
Yeah, it was probably 15 feet.
Yeah,
15 feet or so.
Okay, that's awesome. And it was down pretty far. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it was down. We were most people were going up to the front of the boat, and they had a little flat area where you could walk up there and stand. And when you were standing, it was pretty much eye level.
Oh, nice.
Right out there to you. So.
It came down for its weekly poo.
Yeah.
You just caught it at the right time. Or maybe they hang out. Someone might hang out down lower. That's cool though. So that was like one of my big questions is like, JT says the cruise creature test. Yes. One of my questions was, I know there's a lot of wildlife in Costa Rica, but sometimes you go someplace with a lot of wildlife and you don't necessarily see it because it's, wildlife doesn't necessarily want to be seen. So this is pretty cool that you are seeing these wild sloths. Like, I always think, like there's that kind of ongoing thing with Roatan where they may not allow you to hold sloths and stuff anymore. And I hope that they are able to do that and continue to do that. But like, I always feel like when I do things like that, I get that experience, once or twice. After that, I'm good just to look. And there's something like, I see animals at the aquarium every day and I love it. I love seeing them and everything. I love seeing the animals that I have living here, but it's not quite the same as when you see them in the wild. Like, it's always a little bit more special to see a wild version living in the wild. Like, that's always like a different feel to that. So that's really cool that you got that close-up view of that sloth. That's awesome. And there's a zoomed out picture, I guess. Same sloth.
Yep.
Without as many leaves though.
Right.
In there. That's awesome. Now this one, I have no idea what this is other than a bird. Did you look this up?
I did not look that one up yet, but okay. I will work on that one.
Did you remember what they said this one was called?
Nope. We were talking about it. We couldn't come up with it.
I will look for that one. I was trying to figure out the hawks.
A lot of times too, like you mentioned that they called the crocodiles caimans, and sometimes that's because the guide may not have all the information, but a lot of times it's just a language barrier. They know caiman is the English word for some type of crocodilian, or they may give you the local name, and then when you look that up, you're like, oh, I don't see anything called it. Like, if you look up an average animal that's not from the United States, most likely if it's an animal that's somewhat common, there's going to be 4 or 5 different names, especially if it has a big range. That animal has all different names that people call it. That's why we use scientific names, but yeah, that can make it a little confusing and stuff. But she's going to see if she can figure out what that. It's really cool. It's got that.
Yeah, I was like the pattern on him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He reminds me of a bittern.
He does look a little bit bitter. Oh, bittern? Yeah. He does look a little bit like a bittern. He's got that. That is definitely like a fish catcher or a shrimp catcher there. Some kind of beak to get in, pick little animals out of the sand. But yeah, he's got that beautiful, like almost zebra striping.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Very cool. And then more sloths, because you can never have too many sloths.
I think that's the same one. I
Is
think
it
that's
the
probably
same one?
her picture.
That's my picture. I didn't know what all he'd sent, so I would
No
just
worries. I'll never complain about sloth pictures. Like the more the merrier. So that's awesome. That is very cool. Oh, and I think we've just got to Panama. So hang on, let me go back to our sloth here for a minute.
Okay, so one thing, we did see some more animals in Costa Rica that we didn't get good pictures of because neither of us have a camera with a big zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Way in the top of some trees, there were howler monkeys.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was like a whole family of them. There was probably 4, 5, 6 of them. And the little ones were running around, playing, jumping from limb to limb.
I have good video of that, but I didn't have any still pictures. And a lot of it, unfortunately, you were looking directly in the sun and they were up very high. So I was literally, I could barely see them. So I was literally holding my camera, hitting record and hoping that I was getting them in there because I couldn't see. And then when I went back and watched the video, I was like, yeah, there they are. They're so cute. They were so little.
They were little ones?
Yeah, they were babies.
Oh, they were, okay, you said, yeah.
There was a whole family of them out playing.
Cute.
We also saw iguana.
Okay. Were they green?
Yeah, just a normal. Well, one of them was a green iguana. There was one that was brown, I think.
I don't remember.
But I don't have any good pictures of them. So.
I think green iguanas are native to Costa Rica. I'd have to double check that, but like most of the places where you see green iguanas, they are not native animals too. But I think Costa Rica, they are actually native. But I'd have to double check to make sure that's accurate. But I'm always, even if they are non-native in places, I'm always excited to see them.
Can you go back to that bird?
You want me to go back to the bird?
Because I think I know what I.
Oh, do you? Oh, that could be it.
Maybe.
Do they live in Costa Rica? So she's found something on the Googles that does look like it's pretty similar. So we're not 100% sure it's what it is, but
I mean, I found it in.
It does definitely look
I found it in Merlin.
Very
I put
similar.
The location of Costa Rica.
So tell them what it is.
Is that fasciated? Is that how you say it? Fasciated tiger heron.
Tiger heron. Like the name's cooler.
And apparently they're very rare.
Oh. So that's pretty cool. So it might be a fasciated tiger heron, which is pretty awesome. That's an awesome name to go with a really beautiful bird.
It looks, that is, of all of the birds that popped up in my research, which wasn't extensive.
Which was in the last few minutes.
That's the one that looks the most like it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty, like you said, bitterns have sort of that look to them.
But it's not quite.
It's a pretty distinct marking pattern. Not a lot of birds have that. So we'll have to do more research to figure out for sure if that's what it is. But I think that's a pretty good probability. So that's pretty cool. So you saw iguanas, you saw monkeys, you saw sloths, you saw a few different species of birds, a couple different species of crocodilians. That's a pretty good haul. Anything else that you saw in Costa Rica or anything about Costa Rica that you would want to share?
Not really. I guess nothing that comes to mind. Like,
yeah, after we got off the riverboat, we had some fruit and some water, and then jumped back on the bus to go back to the port.
Okay. So. Did Costa Rica feel like you guys have been to Honduras and Belize and some of those places, right?
Yeah.
Did it feel different than those? Pretty much the same as those? Like as far as like the general look of the natural part of what you saw?
I feel probably a little bit cleaner than Honduras, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, probably. We didn't spend a whole lot of time driving through habitated areas.
Well,
you know?
I mean, even uninhabited areas, like just the wildlife, the plants. Like, did that feel like you could have been in any of the Central American,
Yeah, I think so.
Mexico? Yeah.
We did go across a pretty sketchy bridge.
Yeah.
He was a little worried.
Now, I mean, we're in this, full size tour bus,
Right.
you know, and there was these two bridges that were right next to each other, and they were steel bridges, but they looked like they were from 1930 or something. I mean, they're pretty rough looking, and we went across this bridge that went across that river that we were just riding on, and yeah, that made me a little nervous.
There, somewhere in Costa Rica, there is a bridge that is a popular place for tourists to stop. And there's apparently on one side of it are like huge American crocodiles, like everywhere. I don't know where exactly that bridge is. Hey there, Darian. But that's a thing. I've had several people tell me about it. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
One other thing I will say about Costa Rica, the port there, Puerto Limon.
Yeah.
Oh, the shopping.
There's not a like if you go to Amber Cove or Cozumel or whatever, and you're in the port area and have all these different stores and shops and things. There's nothing like that there.
Okay.
It's kind of an industrial area. But what there is there is one big building basically that has like a straw market kind of thing inside of it. And it's all covered, so if it's raining or anything, you can shop, without getting wet. And it's all the locals and stuff. They have all their each person has their little spot, where they sell stuff from.
I'll grab something if I can
And
find
it was,
after you're done with this.
and it was, we were, anytime we get one of those situations like that, we're always concerned about high pressure sales, and they won't leave you alone. These people were pretty nice. And I mean, they would ask you, and tell you a price of something or whatever. But if you told them you were just looking or thanks or whatever, they didn't say anything else, and they left you alone.
I'm going to see what
I think, and I don't know this for sure, but I think the economy is a little bit stronger in Costa Rica than a lot of the other areas, so that you don't. I feel like poverty and desperation brings out some of those sales tactics, and I don't know if that's as prevalent in Costa Rica, or maybe they are able to regulate it a little bit more. Because I mean, I love supporting local cultures, but at the same time, I don't want to feel like I'm being pressured or anything like that. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, and this market had a pretty good mix of, they had T-shirts and hats and things just like you would find at every other port. But then they also had a lot of what appeared to be handmade, unique gifts, too.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask that next, because sometimes I've been to Mexico and they're like trying to tell me that this resin Mayan calendar is like handcrafted by the locals, and I'm like, I saw those in 3 other parts of Mexico at gift shops. Come on, don't blow this up my butt, because I know what's going on here. If it is handcrafted though, like, I have tons of respect for that, and I will, if I'm interested in that, I will definitely try and pay what it's worth. But
yeah, Gina bought a whistle, and the guy, I've never seen it before, so I'm pretty sure it was pretty unique. And the guy said that he made it himself.
Cool.
And he had them all sitting there in front of him, and every single one of them was different. So there didn't appear to be any two alike, and it was pretty neat. She's trying to find it. I don't know if she'll find it or not.
That's what I like to see. Like, when I go to a port, I want to see like legit handcrafted items, or just items that are legitimately like produced in the country, that are authentic to that country, and not just something that they had made in China or India or whatever, and that looks like they're or like we do here. And then I want like the real thing. Like, I want to meet the craftsmen and stuff like that, which sometimes you can do that at some of these ports, which is really cool. And if you can support them, I encourage you to support them, because those are the people that really deserve your dollar, if they're the ones making it and stuff like that. It's pretty awesome.
So I found our Costa Rica buys.
Oh, cool.
So we don't normally buy a whole lot, because we're getting pressured so much, and I get super anxiety and frustrated about that. So I walk off.
Yeah.
And I was super hot, and I've kind of started getting fans. So I got this fan. It was really hot that day.
Nice.
$4.
Okay.
It was a very, very good price from what we saw them the next day in Panama, and they were like 25.
I mean, I paid $7.50 for a soft serve ice cream cone today. That was a mini. So that's a pretty good deal.
And then he got this one and I got this one. They were $10.
Nice. Very nice.
And then this is, so I like to try, I heard you saying that you like to try to find local made.
Yeah.
And that's always what I'm looking for. And I can never really find anything that's small enough really to get home or that's kind of my style. And this isn't really my style, but I thought my granddaughter would maybe like it. And I'm trying to keep the noise away from the microphone. Sorry. Here's the paper if you want to describe it. So this,
read it.
Oh, it's this whistle. You can show it. Like this is a monkey, or that's a goat.
Stop sharing.
Oh yeah, hang on. Let me bring up this bigger. Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, is that a toucan?
And the back side's a toucan.
Oh,
and then you flip it another way. And the guy was literally playing like little bits of a tune, like you could pick up what he was playing, like movies, popular
so
stuff.
You can blow in there.
It's called I'm gonna spell it OCARINA.
Oh, it is an ocarina.
Ocarina.
Okay, I thought that was just a Zelda thing, but yeah, that's awesome. That's beautiful.
So, and he's got this paper that he gives you with them. So, one side's a bird. There's a pig. There's a toucan. There's a cow, a rhinoceros, a fish, and a monkey. Let me see here.
I know there's the monkey.
Yeah.
Okay, I see it.
Mm-hmm.
You got the toucan.
Toucan, yeah.
Okay.
And then
here's the something. What's that?
I don't know what that is really.
Is that
a cat or something?
Is that the fish or pig?
It could be a fish, maybe.
Oh, the cow. That's the cow.
That's the cow. Okay, with the horns and stuff, a little nubby horns.
I'm trying to look at it backwards. Maybe on the side.
I'm not sure. He demonstrated all the ones,
You could see him right when he was doing it.
That's really cool.
It is really cool. That's the kind of thing that I see, and I'm
did
like,
we see this side?
That's awesome.
Did we see this side?
That's the elephant, I guess.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's a rhinoceros.
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 Huh. Okay. Yeah.
So anyway, you get the idea, but
that is really cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think it was this $10? $7. It was $7. And I was like, it's lovely. The guy handmade it, he says. And he
probably did. I mean, that looks like handmade.
Yeah, he had probably 40, 50 of them, all different painkiller. Choose any painkiller you want, he says, And I think I
gave us a little sheet of paper that kind of explained stuff on it. So
that's cool.
And I was like, okay, I can get behind that because even if my granddaughter doesn't want it, I would put it up on our shelf. And maybe if we go back, I'll get another one. And so
that's cool.
Anyway,
that's very cool. Yeah. And Anita was asking, she said, Matt and Kimbra, Ed and I were trying to think of the piece you guys got on your cruise to Belize. Yeah, that was I was thinking of that too when we were talking about that.
Yeah, me too.
Because it was the same kind of thing where we went to that little bitty island and there was I say a kid. He wasn't really a kid, but he was telling us he had pictures of the stone that I take him at his word that he was like, they carved the rock out of the stone and then it's soapstone. Yeah, so we saw him making.
He was making them.
Yeah, we saw him making the stuff. So
it was an island called Cape Hawker.
Yeah. So unless he was like pretending to make it, but
no, because it was flat.
Oh yeah,
he was literally carving it, and then he showed us the color. Like he put the color on it,
which is
like shoe polish.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was one of my favorite pieces.
Yeah, because it's just got that, wasn't made in a factory. It was like somebody really put their creative energy into it. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So Costa Rica sounds pretty neat. Yeah. Thank you, Anita. Costa Rica sounds pretty cool. Yeah. She's talking about that whistle. The ocarina of time. So you guys enjoyed Costa Rica. That's a unique port. I hope to get there someday for sure. And then we'll move on to Panama. Because I know you guys had some mixed reactions to Panama, but I got to share the screen again, don't I?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Share the screen. So what am I looking at here?
This is the Agua Clara locks, which are the new locks. We are standing in the visitor center, little observation area, watching the container ship go through, and I've got some of the pictures I sent show it a little more close up.
This is the container ship right here.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's going from the Gatun Lake that's back behind us in this picture out to the ocean, out to the Atlantic Ocean out there.
Okay, so this is coming from the Pacific to the Atlantic, going across that way.
I don't know if you can see in the distance. Can you see that bridge?
I do, yeah, right there. It looks like the Sunshine Skyway Bridge in St. Pete. But
yeah, a little later you'll see a picture because we drove across that bridge.
Oh, cool!
Look back at both the old. So the old locks. If you're like we're standing here taking this picture, the old locks would be to the left, way over to the left over there.
Like over in this area?
Yeah, even farther past that.
Okay, so way back there. Okay.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the only pictures that we could get of both of the locks in the same shot, we're on the bus. So through a window,
going
across a bridge and trying to get one with, I literally just held my camera and click, 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 hoping to get a good one. And, but you're going through kind of a dirty window and it has started raining.
Oh, no. So I'm looking at this picture and I know it's probably my perspective and it looks like it's like water and then mud, but that's just the edge of the canal. Is that, or the lock?
Right the mud, the dirt that you're seeing is up on the bank that's right in front of us.
So this is all solid water here.
Solid water, and then the sides are like black painted concrete or whatever.
Okay. So they fill the lock with, well, is the lake shallower than the ocean or deeper than the ocean?
If I'm not mistaken, the lake is taller, higher up in elevation than what the ocean is.
But I guess that would make sense that normally a lake would drain out into that. So they're basically they're shutting a contained area. The ship is sailing in, then they're closing behind it, then they're lowering the water level, and they're opening up the other side, and then they're sailing through. Is that my understanding accurate? How that works?
Yep. Okay. And the way this one works, there's a tugboat on the back and the front that kind of keeps the ship in position. Okay. And the old locks have little train car engines that go on each side that have ropes tied to the ship that kind of hold it like that. They don't use tugboats or stuff over there, but this one is a little different, a little bit different technology on this side.
So the vessels are not using their own motor to get through the locks. There's a tugboat or in the past a rail car that is actually moving the thing through it.
Well, I mean, the ship may be helping, but the tugboats and things are there to make sure that it stays in position and and help it move along,
smash back and forth or something like that. Because that's not. I mean, there's how much of a gap do you think there is between this vessel and the wall?
It looked like it was just a few feet.
Yeah, it didn't look like there was much clearance.
That's wild. That is wild.
Hey, Marty, Anita says hello.
All right, so this is the one you're talking about from the bridge?
Yeah. So the new locks are on the left and the old locks are on the right.
So these are the new locks over here?
Yeah, and
where
that's
we were.
actually, I mean, if you could blow it up and zoom in, that's actually that container ship that we were just looking at.
Is right there.
Yep.
Okay. And then that almost looks like a cruise ship over there.
Yep, that was a cruise ship. It was
I don't.
I saw what cruise. It was a small cruise ship though. It was like a Celestial or something, not a major brand that most people are familiar with.
It's yeah, it's like see if he's still in here. Kevin, yeah. I love Kevin's still in here, but it's like the kind of ship Kevin Count sails on.
Or my mom.
Right.
Or your mom, yeah. So
scroll back down on the chat. So
sorry. So what I'm curious about is, this is the lake, or this is the lake?
The lake is way back behind.
Back over. It's back here.
I can't see your mouse anymore, but
yeah. So the actual lock area is not that wide.
Nope.
That it's going through, but it takes hours to get through it, or it takes hours to get through one side, then to sail to the other, then to get to the other.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty slow process. So
yeah,
and while we were there were other ships out in the lake waiting to go through. So
you know what? One of the things that lake does that people may not realize is it's sort of a way to sterilize things coming from the Atlantic to the Pacific or vice versa, because you're traveling through that fresh water. Well, I don't know. Is the lake fresh water? I assume it's fresh water, but it might be brackish or something.
I think it's fresh water.
I think
so. It's going to kill some of the things you're transporting back and forth, unless it's in the bilge or something like that. Then it might not. And there's the what a beautiful aft there, the Carnival Legend.
That is not in Panama, in Cologne, Panama.
It just looks like that water's like 2 feet deep.
Yeah.
I mean, look how close that is.
Yep.
It's got. I mean, obviously, it's not 2 feet deep. It's probably really deep, but that's pretty wild.
Kevin says, I was thinking that it reminded me of an Oceania ship.
Oceania, yeah, it could be.
It could have been. I don't remember. I remember seeing it, but I can't remember the name. These are ant nests.
Oh, I saw this and I thought, is this some sort of wasp? Ants and wasps are very similar, but is this in Panama?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's wild. That is. I'm looking over to my left because that's where I've got it on the big screen where I can see it really close. But that is really cool.
And these are the ones that he was saying that they actually protect the tree. Is that?
Yeah, the ants are pretty protective of the tree that they live in. So if any kind of other creatures or things get in that tree, if it's anything that's going to stay there a long time, the ants are going to attack.
That's awesome. And I just realized this is part of the ant colony as well. That's cool.
We saw a handful of those, and we just were out it seemed like a long time for us because we were wanting to get to the locks. But a short time and very small portion, we saw a handful of those, So.
Ants are very interesting animals. That's really interesting. That's really
cool.
Are
they Azteca ants?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Do they have that behavior? There's probably
Azteca ants and Cecropia trees are both native to Panama and are said to have a very close bond.
Okay. Could be.
Using trees as their homes. The tree acts as a little apartment for the ants, and the passages in the tree allow the ants to move around easily. That might not be it.
We also saw termite nests.
Okay. Yeah.
Didn't have a picture. I actually didn't get to see it. He was having people. He's like, it's right there, and you had to go to the front of the boat to get it. And I'm like, I'm not. Whatever.
Yeah, for most of us, termites are not something we want to see. but with ants, there are so many species of termites. It's crazy. When I worked at the St. Louis Zoo, my background was reptiles, so I knew all the known species of this group of snakes or lizards or whatever. So I'm like, oh, I'm really interested in praying mantises. So I'm going to learn all the genuses of the praying mantis, and there's like thousands of them, or hundreds at least. So there's so many insects. 90% of the arthropods on the planet are insects, and 75% of the animals on the planet, I think it's 75%, are arthropods. So it's a lot of insect species.
It is the Aztec ant.
It is the Aztec ant?
Yep.
How about this guy? That looks like a hawk or something.
So that's the one I was looking at, and I think I know what it is.
Yeah?
But I am not 100%.
Did they give this thing a name? Did you?
We can't remember what he said, and I look back through my videos that I have from there, and I don't have him saying it on video. All I remember is every time he said it, the way he pronounced it made it sound like something else, and then everybody would go, "What was that?" And then he would say it again, and it's like he would almost change what he said to something else. But I think it was just a common, what they call it, kind of thing. I don't think it was anything official.
So I think it is a great black hawk.
A great black hawk?
Mm-hmm.
That is a pretty boring name.
Well,
I mean, unless you're a helicopter, I guess. So that's a pretty exciting name.
More specifically, an immature one.
Oh, wow.
He laughed at us.
She's judging you, Hawk. But it would explain why it's not black right now. That's kind of more of a white head, though, than those pictures. Well, okay, yeah. I'm looking at her phone. That's helpful to everybody else. But
so what got me was the markings on the wings. There was nothing else that I saw that had those kind of markings.
These little white doohickeys here.
And they look very similar in some of these photos.
He's also got that sort of line behind the eye. I don't know if that's a characteristic you've seen on any of their
like this one.
Research ones.
I found a fish.
Yeah, I mean, it could be.
I'm not 100%, but that is the closest one.
And that is a species that is found in that region of the world.
It is.
Always cool to see any kind of new bird, and especially a bird of prey. It's pretty cool. And this is again in Panama. This is like so you guys did. I know you guys said you did like a kind of a nature boat tour that was mostly not that productive, right?
That was this one, yeah.
That was this one. So you didn't see a lot of stuff, but you saw a few things,
right?
But not that much. I wondered when I heard you saying that. I couldn't help but think about experiences I've had, like where you do like say a dolphin tour, and some days it's like there's things everywhere, and other days there's like nothing, and people are like, why do you even do this tour? And it's like, I wonder if it was just a bad day, or if it's just normally you just don't see much, or what. But at least you saw a couple things, I guess. But you said they spent way too much time not finding nature, and then you didn't have a lot of time at the actual Panama Canal, right?
Correct.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of this nature hunting on this one was like, see that monkey way up there in the tree? And like you can't see it. And you had to go to the front of the boat, and the guy was like putting his arm around you and follow my finger. What? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine.
Look at that dot. I'd rather just watch Richard Attenborough do a documentary on it at that point.
And we had just seen monkeys and sloths and everything the day before. So I'm like, we're kind of seeing some of the same stuff, and
but further away. So yeah. So is that the only way on this particular type of cruise to get to the Panama actual canal part, the actual like locks and stuff like that? Or are there any other excursions you could have done to get there? Because you said it was pretty long trip, right?
Yeah, I mean, no, the locks are only I don't know, less than 10 miles from where the ship docks.
Oh, okay.
So it's a pretty quick trip over there. They had a number of excursions that would take you to that visitor center, and I probably would have enjoyed more just going to the visitor center,
right?
Spending the whole time there, and then going back to the ship.
There was like a video we could have watched, and there was tons of stuff to walk around and read that we didn't have time to do. And
yeah, and there was originally we were going to book an excursion that put you on it looked like a deep sea fishing boat kind of a thing. And they would actually take you through the locks, but it was going to be an all day thing. It would take up the absolute entire day because it takes hours to go through the locks.
Right.
We were like, yeah, we
I
don't.
don't even. Yeah,
we want to
I'd be
do
like-
it. It would be fun to go through them, but it was like $200 a person, and we were like, yeah, we'll just wait and go on a cruise that actually goes through it sometime.
Was it? And you said, I think on the podcast there was somebody that swam through the locks one time. It cost them like $15 or $5, something like that.
Yeah, it was like $3 and something. They swam the whole way.
They charge you by like weight or something.
I guess I don't know. It's really weird.
That's pretty funny. Okay, there's that looks like maybe some ants or some wasps, or that might be is that the termites? What is going on in this picture?
No, that's bees.
That's bees.
I think so.
Interesting. Not honeybees.
Pretty sure it was bees.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, can we just back away from here, please?
Right? Yeah, you don't have a good experience with bees on tours, but hopefully these doesn't sting you in the face or anything like that. Like,
no.
Good.
Thank goodness we didn't even see any flying around, so we were pretty much staying right there.
And that looks like another one of those Black Hawks.
I think that
Maybe?
is a different one.
That's a different species. It looks similar though. The plumage on the wings looks
That
kind of
one,
similar.
I think, is
Look at those talons. Big talons on that animal.
this one. Look at the belly.
Oh yeah. A Swanson's. SWAINSON. Swanson's. Swanson. I don't know how to say it. Swanson's hawk.
I am.
Yeah, that
I'm
is
pretty confident in that one.
That's very distinct, like modeling pattern on that.
And that's the picture
on the underside
that I'm looking at to compare.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know that's a horrible view of me attempting to put that on the camera.
That's pretty cool though.
Now,
lots of birds of prey.
Our guide was saying, and I don't know I can't remember what he was saying. I'm pretty sure he was calling them hawks, but he was saying something like kite hawk.
Yeah.
Or something. And every time it was like kite. Well, what do then he would repeat it and go,
kite hawk.
No, he said it different then, like totally different, like cart hawk, or I mean he would change how he was saying it, but I don't remember exactly what he was saying.
I mean, there are swallowtail kites, but they're not a bird of prey. But yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if he was trying to say it in a way that maybe he's like trying to speak it in different languages or something.
I don't know.
It says that this is also known as the grasshopper hawk or locust hawk.
Those are all English names.
They are.
I don't know what the predominant language in Panama is. I assume it's Spanish, but I don't know that that's accurate.
Panama, he told us the 3 main languages in Panama are Spanish, English, and Chinese.
Really? Chinese? Okay.
Well, I suppose that's probably with all of the ships going through, and
that's because the Chinese have purchased most of the port areas on both ends of the canal.
Okay.
So there's a lot of Chinese down there. So
interesting.
And their dollar or their money, they don't call it the dollar, but it is the dollar.
They adopted the dollar.
They adopted our American dollar as their currency.
Really?
But they have, I mean, and it is an American dollar, but they call it. They have a name for it that they call it. I can't remember what it is now. But
I wonder if it's the same like rate of value.
It is.
Yeah, it's all 1-to-1.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And here, that's a good picture of the lock right there. That's that same ship.
In the background.
What's that?
You can see the bridge better in the background.
Yeah.
That's where we took that picture of both the old and the new locks.
Okay, so we got both. If you could have like froze yourself in time, you could have taken a picture of yourself taking the picture.
Yeah. I could have just stayed behind and let Stacy take a picture of me on the other side.
There you go.
Vice versa.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh, you got the name in there too. That's
Yeah.
cool.
You can see how the ship is going to be getting to that next little section that's blocked off.
Oh yeah.
And then that next section like doesn't have water in it yet. So they're going to be putting water in it to take it down lower.
That's wild. The engineering that goes into that is pretty incredible, really.
Yep.
Do you recall when this Panama Canal was built with the locks and stuff?
Well, this particular one was opened in 2016.
Okay, but
So
originally, because the Panama Canal has been a thing for
early 1900s.
Yeah. So I wonder. I would love to see that engineering on the, the early 20th century Panama Canal. Like that would be an amazing feat of engineering, I would think, to do that.
I was flipping through a book in the gift shop that was kind of like a history, and it had pictures from way back when they were building the canal, and it's pretty crazy. Some of the primitive ships and equipment they had, steam engines and all this kind of stuff.
Right. Some of it would have probably been manual labor, but yeah, yeah, that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. Now this is not Panama.
No.
I recognize these two.
Yeah, this is the playlist cast on the ship.
And if you listen to the C Days podcast, you'll find out that they had lots and lots of really good things to say about the playlist cast on this particular sailing. And you said they were just awesome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were very good.
Really, really good. The guy in the black coat next to me.
This guy?
Yep. He was like their lead male vocalist. And man, he was good. He could sing.
I can see Stacy's kind of keeping you away from him.
Yeah. she actually
I got to dance with him.
She got to dance with him on stage.
Oh wow. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you said you guys like pulled up on stage and they had you singing and stuff, or just dancing?
No, they just had me dancing, and he was my partner.
That's wild.
Yeah, he come down in the crowd and got me up, but I knew I was going up. I just didn't know which person was going to come grab me to come up, and then we just had to follow along for the line dancing that they did. It was pretty much, you know how they do the two lines and then people dance down the middle and each line moves forward and the next people go down. And so we did that twice. And then we got into different spots. He would guide you and tell you where to go. And then they did the hustle. So it was like a 70s themed show.
Gotcha.
So if you see the studio VIP show and you get in line before the doors open, like 15 minutes early, and you're one of the first few in line, they'll give you a VIP pass.
Okay.
And we were always early, so
you'll be part of the show.
You'll be part of the show.
Nice.
And Stacy actually had a lanyard, and he doesn't dance. He doesn't want to get on stage. He won no part of it. And our dinner mates, Laz and Bobby Joe, her and I had both ran to each of our rooms to grab something, and Laz and Stacy went to get in line, and I show up and he's like, get a lanyard. They handed me a lanyard. You had to be there to have it. He couldn't get one for me. And he was like, and then Bobby Joe showed up and he gave her his, because enough people had showed up. So then they escorted everybody else to the other side to enter the theater. And everybody that had the lanyards they roll out a red carpet, and then they interviewed you. Like, where are you from, and what year were you born? Do you remember a song from the 70s, or that type of thing? And then they played that up on the screen in the theater. So Stacey went in and videoed, and I went through that process.
That's cool. That's awesome.
And then because she was a VIP and got the thing, we were able to go to this little meet and greet with the playlist cast on the last C day
in the piano bar. Yeah.
in the piano bar. Yeah. So we got to meet them and talk with them and everything.
So this is because you guys were in line first.
Yep.
Yep.
You guys did. Okay, because you said that in the podcast, but I wasn't clear on how you got the VIP status. That's pretty cool because you guys you're really into this. Like you guys said that you typically will go to both productions of the same show.
Every night they're on, we go to everything. Yep. Unless it's a cast we really don't like.
Right.
We'll go see them the first time. And if they're just not very good singers or they're just not really the greatest, then we won't. We'll go comedy or do something different. But if we really like the cast, we'll go to both shows.
That's awesome. And I'm really glad that you guys had this experience because you guys deserve this experience because this is something you're really interested in, and that's awesome that they kind of reward that for you guys. That's cool. That's very cool.
I don't know if you know it, but I grew up.
You know what? You could go to the shows.
I'm not going to go by myself.
You could go to the show. I'll go with you.
Yeah, but you'll complain the whole time.
I won't complain the whole time.
It takes away the fun.
I won't complain the entire time.
No, but when it's over, that was horrible.
I mean, look.
That was miserable. You made me sit through that.
A lot of times I've gone to these shows, and you're like, I really want to go to the shows. And then afterwards, you're like, well, I didn't like that. I'm like, shit.
But well, you think about it, they're only in like 45 minutes or an hour. They're not, it's not that big of a deal if you don't like it. That's the way we look at it.
Then we went on MSC and I was like, this is amazing. It's like a disaster. You know, I'm a punk rock guy. So I loved it. And her and JT are like, that was horrible. I won't go again.
I just couldn't figure out what was happening. Hey, we went again.
Yeah, we did do it.
I just couldn't figure out what was happening.
It got weirder. It got weirder.
Anita said she'll go to shows with me too.
There you go. See, that's what you need.
Yeah, that just means we have to always cruise with Anita.
Or Stacy.
Or Stacy.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So I don't know if you know about this about me, but I grew up. I had ballet shoes on when I was 2 years old. You know, and so I grew up dancing in ballet, tap, jazz, point, lyrical gymnastics, modern, you name it, I did it. And I mean, competed at national levels and everything. Cool. And so I really like seeing this, you know, this kind of thing. It makes, you know, I watch it the whole time and I can just picture me doing it, you know. So I wish I would have known that they did things like this, like right out of college, you know. But
right. Well, how cool of a gig would that be?
Yeah.
What is Les talking about? Canberra and Matt.
Kimbra.
Kimbra and Matt. I'm going to change your name to the Bickers.
That's a good one, Les.
Apparently, we bicker.
I don't know. I thought it was banter.
We banter. Yeah. We banter. We bicker.
Well, y'all never heard us.
Anita says she agrees to cruising together all the time.
There you go. I mean,
Anita, I just want to throw out. I may have mentioned a cruise next April just recently to Matt. I'm trying my hardest.
I mean, it's never a fact that there's never a time when I don't want to go on a cruise. I just have to look at the reality of the logistics of it. But there's never a cruise I don't want to go
we're
on.
Plenty of time in advance.
But, but we have other things. But yes, it is on our radar. It's on our radar. So this, I know this because I've driven over this so many times and I've been under it quite a few as well.
I've been under it more than I've been over it.
Have you really?
Uh-huh.
Interesting. Well, I used to live in St. Petersburg though, so I went over it a lot.
I'm afraid to go over it. I don't like it.
Yeah. This is our beautiful Sunshine Skyway Bridge. I don't know if this is going into Tampa Bay. Is that what this is?
Nope, we were leaving.
You were leaving. It was that dark when you guys left.
Yeah, so it worked out absolutely perfect because we always eat early dining, and normally it used to always be at 6 o'clock. And I was conflicted because I was like, I like to go to the main dining room, especially on the first night, so that you meet your wait staff and your, you know, whoever's sitting at your table and that kind of thing. But I'm like, we're going under the bridge, and I really want to see that, and it's all going to happen at about the same time.
Right.
Well, we get on the ship. And early dining was at 5:30 instead of 6, and which really helped us get to shows a lot easier. And then we were late leaving we were probably an hour or so late leaving. So we had our dinner and then we rushed up to the upper decks, and then we still had plenty of time to catch the bridge. So it
That's
worked out
cool.
perfect.
That's
I
awesome.
have a
The lights are really
succession
cool.
of pictures of it changing colors. It's pretty cool.
Are there more pictures of it on
No.
here? No. So I can tell you, every time I've cruised out of Tampa, I guess by chance, it's been light still when we've gone on the Sunshine Skyway Bridge, and I've always thought I was lucky for that. But now I'm looking at this photograph and thinking that's not really the case. That this is gorgeous. What a beautiful bridge that is.
I'll send some more pictures of the different colors.
Cool.
Yeah, it's constantly changing color. So
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So this bridge, by the way, you may have noticed like these sort of large concrete things here. I think it was in the 80s, a barge hit the old Sunshine Skyway Bridge and like it collapsed and like people died. It was pretty tragic. So they rebuilt it and they added these like barriers so that couldn't happen again. But yeah, when you go underneath this bridge, as you guys probably experienced, like you got to question, are we really going to make it under there? Because it looks real close. Like you go right under that middle piece, and I don't know how many feet it really is clearance, but it feels like it's like 2, but it's probably way more than that. But it feels like 2 feet clearance, which is pretty amazing.
just touching.
So I'm glad you guys got to see that though.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I thought you guys took it coming back, and I'm like, you guys are crazy because I know you had to get up at like 3 a.m. to get that picture.
Yeah,
but
I actually, when we were coming back, I think I woke up during the night like I normally do, and I turned the TV had gone off, I think, and I turned it back on. And as I was going back through the channels, because it always goes back to the main channel, I was going back. It was the forward camera, and if I'm not mistaken, I remember seeing the bridge. So we were coming in then, and like you said, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's real early because we get to work. Usually, we get to work before 8, and the ships have been there for a minute. You know, unless there's fog or something like that, the ships have been there for a bit. So that's pretty wild. Did she send that picture?
Yeah.
Well, that's a picture. What I just sent was just barely clearing underneath.
Yeah. I can't do this.
And then here I just sent some.
So that gray is the bridge, and then the funnel, of course, on the Spirit class, which has that cool big glass funnel.
Oh yeah, look at all those colors. That's really cool.
Oh, that is cool. Oh man, that's beautiful. I love that. That's cool. All right, what do we got here?
We played Deal or No Deal.
And I've won they used to have
bingo package.
A bingo package instead of like the 3rd level or something, or maybe it was level 2 because Phil got it too.
I think it was match 3.
Was it match?
I think it was match 3. You used to win a bingo package. Now you win $30 casino play, which I would rather have the $30 casino play.
Yeah, than the bingo for sure.
Because who doesn't?
So we played bingo again, and they got it now where you can buy it digitally, so you don't have to hold those cards and like try to remember how many matches you have and whatnot. So that was kind of cool.
You mean Deal or No Deal?
Yeah. What did I say?
Bingo.
Yeah, Deal or No Deal. Listen to what I mean, not what I say. So anyway,
is this a game because I'm.
Yeah, this is a game we played. This is Deal or No Deal. This is the final results after one of the games that we played. And all of the people on the right, there's that number 1, there's a number 5 and 8, 44, 98. That many people got what's the column on the left, the match 1, match 2, match 3.
Oh, somebody won $200.
Yeah, somebody won $200.
Okay.
And then, so anyway, there's one person, or there's one of those numbers is me. I actually won on this one. Like I said, I've won it before one time, and I've only played it 3 times. And the one time I won the bingo package, and the second time I didn't win at all. That was on the cruise with you two and JT and Jen. But then I won on this one. Do you know what was your guess on which one I won on this one? Because number 98 is on your way. You don't actually win anything.
That's not a winner.
Yeah. And number 44, you don't win. That's why it was. The casino was. But I've actually won casino play too.
So you won one of these, either the 200, the 50, or the 30.
You won $200.
Or I could have just been one of those numbers on the big numbers too.
No, I think you won $200.
I won $200.
You won $200. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, and our dinner mates were sitting a few rows ahead of us. They walked in and were like, "We got seats here," but they didn't see us, And also, I'm matching, and I'm like, "I got another match." I'm like, "I got another match." Pretty soon, it was like, I've got the 5 matches, and I'm like, "I've got $200," and they're like announcing, "Who in here's got the 5 matches?" And I'm like, "It's me." And I was trying to catch it because they put your name up there, because it's all digital, so they know who's got what tickets. And so our dinner mates were looking back. They're like, "Yo, what's a drink?"
That's cool. That's awesome. I never win anything like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I probably will never hit that again, but
you never know. All right, now there's a young lady between the two of you.
That is our.
Let him.
Go ahead.
He's guessing.
It's a cruise director.
That's our replacement cruise director.
Your fill-in, your substitute cruise director. Yep. Hopefully the students were nice to them. They're all.
I think everybody was pretty nice to her.
But when you guys said she had some hiccups, but she'll eventually be a cruise director. Like, she's got the skills. She just needs to develop them a little bit more.
Yeah. That's what I would say. Yeah.
I heard some people say, "Oh, she's not very good," and I'm just like, at least they're not saying it to her face. I mean, everybody to her, everybody treated her very well, I believe, or I feel, from what we witnessed anyway.
It can't be easy
very
to be a cruise director, especially at first. I heard some comedians talking about how when you first start out as a stand-up comedian, like, the audience is almost like your enemy. You have to like defeat them. And then as you get more comfortable and confident, then you're going to be okay. And I bet cruise director is kind of like that. Like, at first you're like, "Oh gosh, I got to win these people over. They're going to hate me. They're just automatically going to be against me." And then after you've been doing it a while, then you're like, "I got these guys." The confidence comes in, which I'm sure helps, deliver that experience as well.
I like the guy in the background.
What, this guy here?
Yeah.
Looks
Photo
like
bombing.
So that's cool though. But you guys had a backup cruise director, but she did a pretty good job. She did okay.
You know what? If I would have known she wasn't an actual cruise director, I would have just thought, "Oh, she's just a young actual cruise director." I thought she did a really good job for being a fill-in.
And what was her name?
Mel.
Yeah, Melissa,
Mel?
But she went by Mel. She was like, "Hi, Mel." Yeah.
Where is she from? Is she?
I don't remember.
If I'm not mistaken, she's from Texas, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember.
All right, cool.
She's originally from Argentina, though. I think.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Say, "Welcome, Couch Potato."
Hey, Couch Potato.
Hello, Couch Potato. We are still live and alive too. And here we go. Here, is this another one that you got to take with the cast? No, this is different.
That's the same cast.
Different clothes.
That's after their flick performance.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen them do this before, but they went out in the lobby and you got to take a picture with them in their flick costumes.
Well, that's
and of course,
fun.
Then they sell those. That's a way to make more money. But I've never seen them do that on a ship, so I said, "Well, we got to do that."
That's pretty cool.
Yes, Couch Potato, you will be able to rewatch this later.
That's actually a buddy of mine. So.
Oh, okay.
You can rewatch it. It'll be here.
Well, you'll get the secret unedited version. No, just kidding. It'll be the same thing. But that's cool. That I'm glad you guys had all those experiences with these. I think this is the last picture we've got here, but that's pretty awesome.
Do you want me to try to hold up my phone and show the bridge colors?
Sure. Yeah, because that was pretty beautiful.
I didn't realize Marty was like staring at me. I just turned my head.
Marty's like,
she's like,
I know you have worms.
Camera.
So they're kind of. Can you see that?
Yeah, no, there's pink and purple.
You can probably move it a little closer.
Blue.
It's taking the light away though.
There's red. How fast do those change colors? Is it pretty quickly or?
It takes a few minutes for it to cycle through.
Okay.
That's just a video going there, but yeah, when we went under it, that was pretty
wild,
awesome.
Right? Pretty wild. Yeah, I mean, I know it's like a long trip out of Tampa to get, and that limits the cruise ships we can get in Tampa, but man, it's cool to go under that Skyway Bridge, and it takes, like I said, it takes a while to get there, and then once you're out of the Skyway Bridge, you've got Egmont Key out there and John's Fort DeSoto Park that you can kind of see a little bit. Not at night. Well, you'd see the lighthouse.
Taking them away?
Oh, I was trying to make them more accessible. Oh, that's cool. It really is.
I'm not a videographer, so
it's really a unique experience to cruise out of Tampa because of the Skyway Bridge. I mean, there are other ports you can sail out of that have a bridge, but the Skyway Bridge is pretty special. I'm a little biased because I
look how close that is.
It's wild, right?
Is that all of them, Marty? I think she finished them.
Did you eat all your worms? Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's a really close call.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I'm glad
you're just like, I can touch it.
I'm glad it worked out for us to see it. So
yeah, it's always a thing. Like if you cruise out of Tampa, like if you have the early dinner, it's always like like I've missed dinners before. 100%. I missed dinners on the first night of the cruise because I wanted to be up on the deck to see the Skyway Bridge, and you go underneath it.
Yeah, we were scheduled to sail at like 3:30 or 4.
That's early.
And it takes, like an hour and a half or so to get out there.
Yeah.
That
I feel like it's usually leaving about 4:30. I guess we leave at 4:30. It's gone. That's true. It's usually gone.
I hear that horn every day.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. When you work at the aquarium, it's like you hear the cruise ships like, oh, and it's like, oh, there's a cruise ship, and I'm not on it.
She's gonna go type.
Marty's gonna type. Are you gonna type a message?
She's gonna say, "I miss you, Gina." I miss Marty Pants. I miss you.
You cannot eat my finger. Did you see her?
She's just tasting it. Finger foods. So, all right. So you did Costa Rica. You did Panama. You stayed on the ship for Grand Cayman. All in all, though, you enjoyed the ship. It was a good ship. I know you talked with JT and Jen about ranking your ship experience, and where would you rate this cruise ship compared to other cruise ships you've been on, and tell us a little bit about some of your others that are in the same category, I guess, of how you feel about this cruise ship.
Well, the Magic's our favorite.
Yeah.
But size-wise, not okay. So I know the Freedom and the Glory are the same size, same sister ships, but I liked the Glory better. I enjoyed the cruise on the Glory better. Maybe that's why the decor, maybe, I don't know. The vibe was better. I don't know. I just liked the Glory better. And it was right up there with the Magic for me. But this size ship was incredible for me. Like, and their placement of our room, like we literally could walk just a few feet down at a comedy. We didn't hear the comedy. and it wasn't nothing interfered with noise or anything. We had to just go down a little bit to the elevators to go up to hit like the casino or the shopping or anything like that. If we went down the same way towards the comedy club, we just went up one flight of stairs and we were at the theater. So I mean everything was like within walking distance and you didn't have to wait for elevators. But then also with the elevators, there wasn't a lot of people. I think only one time we ended up in an elevator with more than 2 other people on it. And most of the time we were on it by ourselves.
That's what you said in the podcast.
Hey there, Crystal.
Hey, Crystal.
That's cool. The size of the ship in relation to how many guests are on board is like the absolute perfect ratio.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never crowded. The elevators are always accessible easily. And the other thing about the elevators too, these were the fastest elevators I've ever been in.
No
When
kidding.
we could be on deck 1 and want to go all the way up to deck 9, Lido, you hit the button and I mean 2 or 3 seconds you're on deck 9.
Yeah.
I mean it was you didn't feel it. It's not like it was a rough ride or anything zooming you there or anything. They were just fast. It was very quick.
Did you get any numbers like on what the capacity was on this particular sailing?
I didn't.
No, I don't remember hearing it.
Usually they announce all that, and they didn't even announce that at the Diamond Platinum party.
I do know beforehand, just looking at it, through our booking channels, it didn't show up anymore. So that tells me it was sold out.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Unless there was a bunch of no-shows, I would say that it was pretty much capacity, at least double occupancy capacity.
Right.
So
I would think that would be a pretty good testament to what you're saying. That ship size to sailing ratio is kind of really good. Because that's the thing that I've noticed. Like I love the Mardi Gras and the XL class ships. I really like them, and for the most part, they feel pretty spacious. But there are choke points. There are times when everybody's trying to do the same thing, and you go, "Oh yeah, there's a lot of people on this ship right now," and you don't really get that as much, or maybe at all, on certain classes of ship. And I think maybe this class has found that perfect dichotomy between size of ship and number of passengers that you have on there. I don't know.
Yeah. Another thing I liked about this ship was the Serenity area had a pool.
Yes. That's a big perk. Now, I would suspect you didn't have a lot of children on your cruise. 1, because of the time of year. 2, because of the general type of cruise that it was. But you're pointing your finger at me, which makes me think.
Yeah, you want to talk about children? No, not a whole lot on the cruise, but the few that were on the Panama excursion, and they let the 2 little girls sit alone together in seats right next to us.
Oh no.
And then the mom sat alone in the seat in front of them, and then the dad in 2 rows ahead of them with the boy, and then the grandparents were all in front of them. And these little girls, I mean, they were cute and they were just playing and having fun, but they were not getting any kind of a shh, be quiet, because we're trying to hear the tour guide talking, and we can't. And the parents have selective hearing. They're used to it.
Right.
We're not. So they paid money and they're trying to enjoy their excursion, and they're just, letting the kids at mom, 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 and just ignore it. Where we've paid for the excursion too.
Right.
And we can't hear anything. So there was very few kids on the cruise, but we got paired basically with some of them. And I'm fine with the kids. Just, I know a lot of the parenting now is different than when I grew up or when I raised my daughter, but it's still, I mean, they got to learn library voices, and there's a time to talk and not talk.
Well, a lot of kids nowadays, No,
I'll
a
probably
lot
get
of kids
torn
nowadays
apart
are
for
very
that.
sensitive to loud noises. Like they don't, they can't deal with it. So they should be even more
Yeah.
attentive to that because it's like a thing. So
And then the boy, the tour guide, his English, he had very good English, but he would say certain words that weren't quite right. Like, what did he say? Something about all the persons. He said all the persons on the boat instead of all the people. And and the little boys, it's all the people, not persons. Duh. I mean, he was just correcting the language.
right.
Oh,
Like, how
man.
many languages do you speak, kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, just tell him to stop. It was kind of
Yeah.
annoying. I'm
It's
probably gonna get torn
frustrating.
apart for those comments, but
Sure. No, I get that. I get that.
it's how I
100%.
feel.
Les says back in the day when my parents, back in the day when my parents looked at me, I knew what that meant.
Well,
Yep.
these parents weren't even looking at their kids. I
Yeah.
mean, they weren't
Yeah.
they weren't even in the same seat as them. The kids were behind them.
Yep.
But-
No, I get that.
So
But
this ship
Go ahead.
doesn't surpass Magic. No.
Maybe just
It's-
for the ease of getting around, but I love the beautiful blues and greens up on the Lido on the Magic, and
and the
I
Magic,
love the theater.
yeah, the Magic has the Italian restaurant
Mhm.
where this ship
A little
doesn't.
slightly
And the
bigger ship,
barbecue.
right?
A little
And the
bit,
barbecue.
quite a bit bigger ship. Yeah.
Oh, quite a bit bigger. Okay. It's because the
Yeah.
Magic is close to Vista size,
Yeah. It's very close to the Horizon and Vista class. Yeah.
Mhm.
which I think is also like my ship range for size is I would say I like Spirit to Vista class. Anything in that is size wise, that's where I like it. Now I love, like I said, I love Mardi Gras and those ships, but honestly, like as much as I love that ship, it's a little too big for me. I prefer the intimacy of the smaller ships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
So the gross tonnage of the Legend is 88,500, and the Magic is 130,000.
Okay,
So it's
that's
quite a bit bigger.
significant.
Magic-
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that you guys are Carnival through and through, but I think if you guys tried the Islander Margaritaville at Sea,
Well,
because it is the same class of ship,
it's
but it's
basically
got that Caribbean theming, so
Yeah.
your colors and your themes are there.
we've
Yeah.
talked about that.
it's a carnival ship.
So honestly, like the Glory and the Freedom, and then the Liberty, which we're going on next, right? Liberty's next. That class is right in between that the Legend and the Magic, and that's got the Italian, and it's got the barbecue, and and that's probably why the Glory is my second favorite ship, because you still got the ease of moving around and getting place to place, and it's not quite so big. But
The thing I really like about most of the ships that you just mentioned is the Red Frog Pub.
Yep.
Like
yeah,
I really like the Red Frog Pub. I don't like on the Horizon. I like their bar, but I don't like the vibe of the barbecue bar. I like the barbecue on the side. It's great.
Yep.
But I really it's a good place to just hang out with friends, have a
Mhm.
couple drinks, and just talk about your day. It's just a really relaxing place. I just enjoy that vibe quite a bit.
Mhm.
Yeah. The band that was playing, we didn't get their name. I wish I
I-
would have got their name, but
yeah.
the band that was playing in the Red Frog Pub was really good.
The lead singer was female, and she was 63 years old. She looked like she was 38.
Wow.
And she says, I get a lot of Botox, she says, but and the drummer was fantastic. I
Yeah.
got some video of
Yeah,
him.
we got a video of the drummer. He was very good.
They were kind of challenging him to go super fast on the song. Was it Suspicious Minds? Is that what it was?
I don't even remember.
Or the song Suspicious Minds? I think it
Yeah,
was
like isn't that like an Elvis Presley song?
like,
or something?
yeah. So, and he just kept going faster and faster and faster. And I'm like, can he go any faster? I mean, it was
Get into that punk rock range tempo.
Yeah.
So that you imagine that? How cool would that be? Like you're 60 years old, and that's your job is like you play music. What are you doing?
She has something on her face. I just need
She's
to clean
wiping
it
her
off.
nose.
You play music on a cruise ship. Like I know that they probably have to work, a decent amount, but still, when you're working, you're playing music, and the rest of the time you're hanging out on a cruise ship. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God! Like I don't even need to retire if that's my job. Like,
And the lady was the singer and the tambourine player. So she
Yeah.
got to wear really cool, pretty outfits, see the spa and get Botox all the time, play the tambourine and sing. And she was
That's awesome.
good enough that she really loves to do it. So
That's awesome. I mean, if I could get a gig like that, I mean, I can't sing to save my life, but if I could get a gig like that, doing something like that on a cruise ship, something that I love to do anyway, and not have to, because some of the people that work on a cruise ship, my God, they work so many hours, but something like that.
What was the guy's title on our Alaska cruise? What was he called? That talked about everything, and he talked to us through our balcony when they opened up the bridge.
Oh, the naturalist.
Naturalist.
Yeah, you should do
not
that.
A naturist. Those are the people that were on that cruise that took over our group cruise.
Yeah, go get on the Alaska cruises and
yeah, I could do that. That's right up my alley. Absolutely. That's awesome.
I mean, he was holding seminars in the theater with, talking about and showing slideshows and teaching people stuff. And
that's the cool thing about, like, normally that happens only on, like, Princess and some of the older quote unquote venue cruises where you get some of the more educational elements, because I guess that's the demographic that's interested in that. But yeah, I could get behind that. Yeah.
And that was on
talk about Caribbean wildlife. Absolutely.
And that was on Celebrity, though. That wasn't Carnival.
Yeah, Celebrity, Princess. That's typically what's the other carnival? Holland America. That's where you're going to get that sort of venue or sort of experience, I guess would be a better word for it. And yeah, I don't know. That'd be really cool. I would do that. If any of the cruise lines are listening, I'm a marine science educator with decades of experience.
You have to take me with you.
And Marty. No, I'll keep Marty for you.
There you go. Yeah, we need somebody to watch the animals for a little bit.
And we want to move to Florida, so we'll just come there.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Any closing comments about your cruise? It sounds like it was an awesome cruise. Sounds like you had a lot of really good experiences, but anything you want to just end with here?
I don't think so. I don't know. I really like the class. I'm excited. It's been a while since we went on the Glory, and so I'm excited to do the Liberty in the fall and re-experience that size of ship now that we've just recently been on the Spirit class.
Yeah.
So I can kind of compare. I'm pretty sure that next step up is still going to probably be my second favorite. I don't think that the Legend's going to move up there into that second spot, but there's a chance.
I would say, to me, the Legend is probably right behind Magic to me.
Even without the extra food places?
Yeah. So I wanted to say, we came down and spent a week with you guys before the cruise. So thank you for letting us do that. We had a great time and enjoyed going and doing things and seeing stuff and all the animals. And
we miss you guys.
Yeah.
We got to see you for the week, and we're like we're on the cruise and we're like, we kind of miss them.
that was a good experience for us as well. I mean, we were kind of aggravated when you left and got on a cruise ship without us, but that was our own fault. So no, we absolutely had a wonderful time when you guys were here. It was a great experience. So no thanks necessary, because we enjoyed it too.
Good, because we're moving in a month.
We may need to. Well, actually, our rent didn't go up that bad, but it, we get a big house somewhere. Look, we get JT and Jen. We can all buy a property. We'll have like a little mini cruise people commune.
Yeah.
That sounds like we're
That's-
getting a little culty.
That's okay. It's a cruise cult. I'd get behind a cruise cult.
Okay.
We all worship Marty.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Marty's
bow before
You,
Marty.
like freak her out.
She's all right.
You're like, she's like, it's moving.
She's like, what's going
My rock
on?
is moving.
We call that enrichment.
Are you pulling her tail?
I'm just tugging on it. I'm pulling. It's just gentle tugs.
As she walks away from it.
I was annoying the captain because the captain is finally shedding, and I was like peeling his skin, and he's like, "Stop it! Stop it!" I'm like, "You're gonna thank me for this tomorrow." But there you go. See, Les is gonna join our cruise cult.
All right.
Yeah, we got room for you, Les. Absolutely. Think about it. I mean, come on. We could like the cruising community. We could get like a compound. We could have like places for people to stay before they're going on a cruise or when they get off a cruise. I mean,
You might be onto something here, Matt.
it's an idea.
There's so many of you, or of us, because we're obviously the leaders of this.
Are we? No leaders.
Marty's
like
the leader.
communal. It's a commune.
Yeah.
But that means there's plenty of people to watch the animals
Right.
when we're away,
Right?
because not everybody can go on the same
No,
cruise
yeah,
at the same
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely,
They don't
Anita
need a lot
and
of
Ed,
care.
you are coming too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They don't need a lot of care. You just got to feed them every few days, and make sure
Right.
they got fresh water.
But what I'm saying
It's not
is,
like a dog or a cat.
we
that
don't
needs
have
like
to. We don't have to find.
we could
the
have some of those too, though. Those are easier. Most people can take care of dogs and cats.
cult cats.
Cult cat. Cult
Oh,
cat.
yeah.
Brian,
It's
my
just fast.
favorite ship is the Magic.
What? Oh, Gina, what's your favorite? Yes, the Magic.
Magic.
Which that is a ship. Is that the ship that our group cruises on?
Yeah.
It is.
Yes.
So
And
you
that will
wanna-
be, I think, our seventh time on it, or seventh or eighth time on it.
You're going to be our guides because we've never been on the Magic.
Oh, I love it. It's so
You
pretty.
constantly sing, "Oh, it's magic."
We've done the Behind the Fun tour too, so we've
Have you?
seen lots of it.
Yeah.
I've never done that tour, and I don't even know if is it available again. I don't know if they've brought that back or not. But
Oh yeah, it's been going on for a while now.
okay, I need to do that tour because I've not done that tour. But
What
yeah,
ship do you want to do it on?
I don't care any ship. I have done a behind the scenes of the dining room, but that's it.
I think we should do it on Mardi Gras.
That'd be good. Mardi Gras would be
That
good.
would be cool.
That is our ship. Yes, that is our ship. But yeah, we're at
Brian.
Carnival Magic 2025, 26, 2026, September?
It is September.
September.
You don't know the date, do you?
I
You're not gonna
don't.
go
I
that far.
have so many things in my head, and lots
Like
of
Marty.
them don't stay there. Like Marty. Marty's on my head, not in my head. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun because these folks are going to be on it. Sea Days is going to be on it. We're going to be there. It's going to be a lot of really awesome people on
A
that
lot of
trip.
the people in this chat are going to be there,
That's
but
right.
I can point out Les and Pat are not scheduled on
Yeah,
that
what's up
yet.
with that lesson, Pat?
It's
And
only-
don't even bring up your age,
Yeah, don't
because I
give us
know
that.
you've got other things.
Don't
booked.
give us that. We don't know if we'll still. No.
There's
it's
plenty
only
of time.
500. It's only 539 days.
Exactly.
All you have to do is throw down the deposit. If you don't make it, then all you've lost is the deposit.
We didn't get a lot of laser cutting done this week. We had a busy week, but those cruise countdown calendars are on the way. Just so you guys know.
Those are awesome.
Yeah. So
And Brian, my second favorite is the Glory.
Yep. Brian, we sailed on the Celebration with these guys and with JT and Jen
Mhm.
year and a half ago. About, I guess it was.
Gosh, has it been that long?
2023 September.
It's been that long.
Yeah. So I enjoyed Celebration. The only thing I didn't like about it is like you said, it's at times you do realize that there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
What is it? 5,000-6,000 people on that ship
Yeah,
at
and
max capacity.
and what was kind of interesting for me is we had done our group cruise on the Pride that March,
yeah.
and then our wedding was on the Mardi Gras that November. So the
Yeah.
same year, many months apart, of course, but it was groups of people because we had people come on the wedding cruise as well. and the difference in how we were able to get together and communicate
yeah.
was very, like, on the Pride, we were constantly running in and passing people. On the Mardi Gras, we did that a little bit, but we really kind of had to plan when we ran into people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think for the size group cruise that we are doing, that is a good size ship.
Yeah.
Really is a good size ship.
So we took, when we had just had our group cruise last fall, it was on the Magic, and I think it worked out perfect.
Yeah. Not too big, not too small. Like I said, it's that Goldilocks range. And stuff. Les says, refresh my memory. What group cruise now?
Really, Les? So here's what I'm gonna say. Actually, hold on, give me this. Because we've lost our regular access to StreamYard. So I can't put up. Why is this not moving? There we go.
Yeah, Brian, that makes sense.
Put up the picture that I want. So let's see if I can figure this out.
You're asking a lot right now. Is that it? Oh, look at that. That's pretty. Oh, try it again. There you go. And then it's
But you know what?
It's a lot of steps for you, Les.
I can do anything if I put my mind to it.
There you go.
Yeah. Look at that. That is it, Les, right there. That is the one.
And look at those ports too.
Good I know, port. Right? Princess Key. Is it K or Key? I know you tell me that every time. But
I'm a Key person.
Yeah.
Key.
So I know you. When I went to Princess Key before, they specifically said that it was called Key.
That's what I was going to say. Somebody, I thought it was you or Stacey said that.
We went. I don't remember what we went to. One of the shows where they talked about stuff, and she was like, "It is Princess Key."
and then San Juan.
I love San Juan.
San Juan's awesome. St. Martin, which we've not been to, St. Martin, and St. Thomas, which she has not been to yet. So it's a good cruise, Les. A good cruise on a good ship with good people. I don't know what else you want from us, Les. Really.
Here's what I'll say, Les. If you book this cruise, I'll seriously look into figuring out how to make this cruise cult group.
Oh, sorry.
Don't lose Marty. Don't lose him.
She's got a good grip on my hand here.
I can find land if I put my mind to it, and I'm sure that we can figure out, how to get some little houses on there or something.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, you guys have. Oh, Anita has not been to San Juan. Anita and Eddie have been to San Juan.
You're in for a treat, Anita.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh man, you guys are gonna love San Juan because you're gonna come with us. And we're gonna walk on the trail to Savagato. I had a class and they were Spanish. We get a lot of Spanish speakers in Florida, and I said I wanted everybody to name an animal. It's a invertebrate zoology class, but I have everybody name an animal. And this girl who didn't really speak much English, she said gato, and I said, oh, cat, gato, yeah, I got you. But anyway. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love San Juan. There's so much to love there, from the pina coladas to the cats and iguanas to the forts to the mofongos. It's a good place. The Umbrella Street. Yeah, it's a good time.
Our first time there, we went through the fort or one of the forts, and I didn't think I was going to enjoy that, and I loved it.
I have a recent found love of forts.
Yeah.
I love forts too.
Forts are awesome.
The one in St. Augustine was also really cool.
Yeah, you guys got to come down sometime. We need to go to St. Augustine and spend some time there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've been there before. I went to the alligator place, but I didn't get to go through the fort. So I would like to do that.
First time that I ever went to the fort was the last time we were there. I'd been there many times. Well, not many times, but several times. And it costs money. So I'm like, because working at the aquarium, I can get a lot of things for free in St. Augustine. So I was like, I don't want to spend money, but we spent the money and I didn't regret it. It was good. It was the history there. was fascinating. It's a beautiful structure. So it's a good time. Very good time. Cool. Couch Potato says, we may have to join y'all someday. I've been in a booking frenzy, though. Have booked 4 booked right now and put another on hold that I'm booking with another buddy in January. I get it, man. I get it. It's not hard to get those cruises to start racking up, and then you're like, hey, there's so many cruises.
Unless you're Matt and you can't convince Matt to book anything else. I think at least once a week I bring up another cruise.
And if we booked every one of those, we would.
Well, the reason I keep looking them up is because you haven't agreed to any of them. I'll randomly send a picture or a text, say, what do you think about this? And I'll get like no reply. And I'm like, dude, I need something.
Reply. You get a like, it's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, Matt, the farther out you book, the better price you get.
True. That's true. Yeah.
Saves you money.
I know.
Just say yes.
All right. You got anything else?
I do.
Yeah?
I do have one more thing. It has nothing to do with Stacy and Gina.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna do that. So in a couple weeks, probably, we might have some other guests on to talk about a cruise that they're going on next week. You ignored that text?
My brain is working hard to figure out what you're talking about. In a couple of weeks?
So somebody that we know who's been on before.
Oh, you're talking about Debbie.
I am.
I forgot about that. Yes.
Yeah, they are going on a 7-night on the Disney Treasure.
Yeah.
Leaving tomorrow.
Oh, she's leaving tomorrow on that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That'll be different.
Yeah. So
you got 3 times the money to spend.
Debbie and Kevin and Olivia.
Yeah.
And Olivia stole the show last time they were on.
She did.
So
yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. So they I've asked Debbie. I haven't asked the other 2, but I'm sure they'll be all in. Want to come on and talk about their cruise when they come back.
And Debbie's my boss's boss's boss, and your boss's boss. So
yeah.
An important person.
Yes.
She is.
Yeah.
There's only like one person above her.
Yeah. 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 So
yeah.
That'll be good. And it's always good to hear about Disney. You know, we know some people that are Disney cruisers, and some of them aren't like rolling in the dough either. They're just like, this is just, we really love the experience, and we'll miss 3 cruises to go on 1.
You keep shaking the table.
Sorry. We'll miss 3 cruises to go on 1 because they love Disney so much.
Yeah.
That's probably not going to ever be me, but you know, to each their own.
Hey, in like a couple years, we might be on a Disney cruise.
We might be, but that would be a different experience. That would be a different circumstance completely.
We'll see. No promises for us yet.
I hope Marty doesn't have to poop.
Right? Yeah. She has been eating a lot of worms. So, well, listen, thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. It's not quite as good as hanging out with you in person, but it's close. So we appreciate you guys coming on and sharing your experiences and stuff like that. And
thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Look forward to seeing you guys in person again down the road. So, yeah. Cool. All right. Well, we should probably sign off because it's 10:17.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we have gone overtime. And I don't know if Down Under Cruisers are on. I haven't seen Sean pop up in here yelling at me, but they might be. But otherwise, definitely, like I said, check out the podcast, Sea Days, Jen and JT, and they've got these fine people on here to talk about their cruise in more detail. Otherwise, we'll see you guys, I think, next weekend. I don't think we have anything going on next weekend.
I think we're open. Yep.
So there you go.
We should be back next week.
All right.
All right. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.